This is Anatomy of Success, and I'm your host, Steve Wohlenhaus. This week, to be a strong and successful business, do 7 things to develop respect. Let's get started. I'm Steve Wohlenhaus. This is Anatomy of Success. Every week we gather together. We talk about my 4 tenets of equanimity. And lately, we've talked a lot about satisfying work, which is one of those 4. Health, better health, healthy relationships, healthy intimate relationships are also the other 3 tenets that I believe strongly in. But we've talked a lot about leadership, work, creating strong businesses simply because the number of new entrepreneurs has reached an all-time plateau in the history of our country. So it's a topic a lot of people want to talk about and learn more about, and that's what we're here to do. If that sounds appealing to you, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Join us with our audio podcast. It's a great alternative for people on the go. And then find me under About Us at weatherology.com. We can connect on social media at the top of that page. And of course, take advantage of the free Weatherology mobile app. I've noticed an alarming trend over the past decade or so. We seem to be losing our ability to show respect and appreciate another person's perspective. When movements are made based on a belief that only certain people have exclusivity on expertise predicated on personal experience, we drift in a dangerous direction. I also have noticed ideas are being born based on specious claims that can't be supported by any scientific or historical evidence. It's easy to indoctrinate people in emotional propaganda when the average person lacks perspective about the efficacy of untenable arguments. Keep in mind, less than 12% of recent high school graduates and 15% of all adults could answer basic questions about American history. Many ideas are being offered in the name of open conversation, but those conversations are carefully orchestrated and regulated by controlling their audience and the engagement of debate. The result, an enthusiastic gathering of blind supporters that reside in an echo chamber. When these ideas matriculate into academia, business, government, we start to gravitate in a very dangerous direction. Freedom of speech, ideas, and open conversation has to be preserved, even at the expense of getting our feelings hurt. Strong countries and organizations aren't built by consensus, folks. They arise when people merge together and learn from each other's unique perspectives. Weaknesses are created when people are forced to be silent, and bitterness builds as ideas and open discourse is sequestered. My organization thrives because it's always been committed to diversity and inclusion. Not some doctrine. We embrace uncomfortable conversations and create an atmosphere of respect and safety, and it's based on sincerity. Businesses have a choice. They can jump on bandwagons or get serious about modeling what true compassion, understanding, empathy, kindness, tolerance, and respect looks like. One path is genuine, the other disingenuous, and results in friction, coercion, compliance, and manipulation. So to be a strong and successful business, let's do 7 things to develop respect. Listen. Listening is a lost art that is destroying civility and ruining the ability to unite despite our differences. 90% of us listen poorly, and the effects are devastating. We are all shouting to be heard, and very few people are listening to understand. So-called leaders are the worst perpetrators, and their public examples are often appalling. Strong organizations model better listening, and they don't get married to the ideas that alienate people from participating in the conversation. Reiterate. Respect grows stronger when we clearly hear another person and reiterate what we learned. Affirmation is the art of truly listening and then responding empathetically by affirming what was said. It's also the art of providing people with positive support, encouragement, and validation. Reiterating positive affirmation each day is a great way to cultivate more respect in our companies. Serve. Most organizations value serving their employees, or so they claim, or at least that's what they believe. It's in their mission statement, after all, which is nothing more than a dreamer's manifesto. It's not modeled, and nobody believes it. When over 85% of all employees said they were actively looking for work during the pandemic because their companies lacked strong leadership, they paid attention. Many leaders fool themselves into believing they are servant leaders because they regurgitate all the right cliches. But when your teams don't believe it, we have a real problem. Serving people is how we gain respect, and it's demonstrated through kindness, compassion, and caring. Kindness. So simple, but shoving ideas down somebody's throat isn't kind, and it doesn't create widespread synergy behind any attempt to facilitate positive change. When we bully people into submission, we may win temporary victories, but the war wages are lost over the long term because nobody's on board to sit in the trenches for as long as they need to. Great leaders in history bring people together by promoting love, kindness, not by division, guilt, shame. Organizations that use those tactics always pay the price long term. Respect. Being polite has vanished. Yelling on social media at strangers, silencing adversaries requires no emotional intelligence, folks. Loudmouth politicians love to hide behind their computers and make virulent attacks. People can pick fights and inflict damage without contemplating the consequences today. Every neurotic narcissist now can assert their invalid opinion about everything and cause irreparable damage. We need to learn to be polite and use powerful tools properly without harming people indiscriminately. We gain respect when we exercise restraint and patience. Gratitude. Human beings crave appreciation, and offering thanks is a great place to start. With so much emphasis on expressing opinions today, the emphasis is misplaced and the opportunity to spread gratitude is lost. With everyone shouting to be heard or remaining silent to avoid being ostracized, the best ideas are nullified by the noise. Organizations that value human connection and express gratitude prevail when their efforts to express appreciation are genuine and pervasive. Forgive, tough one. We have two political parties that clearly detest one another, in America today at least, and friction, animosity, contempt are clearly visible. Cultivating respect requires being able to disagree and remain civil about it. Harboring animosity and fueling hatred will be the demise of great organizations moving forward if we don't change. Forgiveness requires letting bad feelings and disagreements go and focusing on forward momentum. Real leaders don't have the luxury of taking everything personally. We need to forgive one another and forge ahead to make life better for everyone as we move ahead on this journey of creating success together. You want to build a successful business, be a successful entrepreneur? I would suggest get super serious about becoming a better leader and avoiding the mistakes that's making 85% of all employees want to leave their job. Be part of the 15% of people where I got to work for that company. I want to work for those people. They have got their act together. I'm Steve Wohlenhaus. This is Anatomy of Success. Until next week, let's stay focused, let's stay positive, and let's stay optimistic.